Today we learned many things about to be surgeon, to be neurosurgeon, to be teacher, mentor, academician, and Gregor told us about how to research, and in one of the last slides he said, okay, define the project, setup, data acquisition, analysis, and write. So we write paper, but sometimes it's accepted, sometimes rejected, and sometimes journals say us, okay, revise it, come back. In this talk, I will try to summarize the reasons for manuscript rejection. Salman said me in their department there are 5 staff and they write seldom. I will try to explain something. Before to start about talking about reasons of rejection, I would like to show you publication process. So you write one paper as author, and you send to the journal. Sometimes editor takes it directly. Sometimes editorial office takes your paper, and after first check, they send to you or send to the editor. And editor sent your paper to reviewers, 3 or 4 reviewers, and after review, they decide accept, reject, or revision, and they send their decision to editor, and the editor should send it to you. But this is not so easy because, as you can see here, in most of cases, there are different decisions. One reviewer says major revision, the other rejection, and the third one accept. I can say only in 10% of the cases there is full agreement between the reviewers. In 90%, there is disagreement. So when we look to the academic journals in 50s, there were 2 neurosurgery journals. The first one JNS, and the second one was Central Blood for Neurosurgery, a German neurosurgery journals. But in 1978, you can see the first spine-related journals. But currently, today, there are more than 36 journals dedicated to the spine health care. That means too much journal. Some of them index in the Science Scientific Index, some peer review, some non-peer review, some only online irregular, some bi-weekly like spine, some monthly, quarterly. We have different journals. But from point of view of the authors, when we look, I am also author, there are many journals, but we have to select good journal, but each good journal is not proper journal for our study. Then, for example, if you have a technical note on a very complex procedure, you cannot say it to neurosurgery journal. Or, for example, there is a journal titled as Bone, Joint, and Spine. This is also spine journal, but this is a rheumatology journal in France. You cannot send surgical cases to this to this journal. On the other hand, from the journal point of view, again, there are many journals. There is competition between the journals. All the journals want best papers. Why? In order to increase the impact factor, increase the brand mark, increase the income from sales and advertisements and prestige. So, as you can see here, if there is need for value manuscript, this is so because if there is very good paper in a journal, everybody wants to read it, and this increases the citation. And citation means impact factor. Impact factor means they can accept much more paper. So now I would like to start into my talk. Actually, why manuscripts are rejected. Actually, there are two main reasons. Shortly, I will talk about the journal-related reasons, but then I will talk about the author-related reasons. Journal-related reasons include limited space in the journals. In each journal, probably 10, maximum 15 journal can be published. Sometimes there is special edition of the journal oriented to a specific topics, and if you send a paper with another topic, they will reject it. Sometimes inappropriate reviewer selection can be done. For example, as editor, if I can send a paper on MIS, minimal invasive surgery, to general neurosurgeon or to deformity surgeon, decision may be wrong. Multiple submissions on the same subject is another reason, and decision-making quality of the journal also may be effective. On the other hand, author-related reasons include, first of all, incorrect choice of journal and errors related to the reuse of submissions. This is very important. Language errors. We have our mother language, but most of the important papers is published in English, and there are many errors in different subsections of the papers. All of these errors are important, but I think the most important errors is errors in the material letter sections and discussion section. Before to talk in detail about all of these, I wish to show you this paper. This paper actually was published in 2000, and for this paper, this is a survey. They sent an 8-page questionnaire with 83 questions to 50 peer reviewers, 67 editors, and to 25 Nobel Prize winner. And I would like to repeat the answers also during this talk. So, incorrect choice of journal is one of the first errors among the authors. Inappropriate journal is important. We should select the best journal for us. Frequency of publication also is important. For example, Spine Journal is published bi-weekly. That means each month they publish 2 issues, but Neurosurgery quarterly is published 4 issues a year. You should know this. Some journals are topic related. For example, Neurosurgical Focus is focused on special topics in each month. Content of a journal also is important. We have general neurosurgery papers, we have spine-related papers. As you can see here, if you send your paper to general neurosurgery, for example, acta neurosurgery, to ward neurosurgery, to neurosurgery, or GNS, probably most neurosurgeons will review your papers. But if you send paper to the spine, it's also very important journal, but neurosurgeon may review your paper, but orthopedic surgeon, physical therapy, and even engineer may review your paper. Therefore, you should take this also into consideration. Each journal has rules of submission. Before sending the paper and during the preparation of the paper, you should review the rule of submissions. It's very important because rules of each journal may be different. For example, while some journals request structured abstract, some others request standard abstract. Word count is limited to 200 words in most of journals. Sometimes there are dual language journals, for example, in Turkey, maybe in your country also. The abstract should be almost same in both languages. Keyword is very important. When we search for search literature for our study, we write some keywords in the PubMed. This is very important because our keywords should match with keyword of the papers published before. There is and no abbreviation should be in the abstract, no reference in abstract, and also reference and reference list in each journal may be different. It's sometimes alphabetic, sometimes it's not alphabetic. Language error is very important. Most of you write very good. You can read also very good, but you may not speak very well. But reading and writing is important. You should check your paper for English before sending. Your paper should be readable, comprehensible, and fluent. You should use short sentences, no wordiness. I would like to send you some of questions which was asked to the editors. As you can see here, verbiage and wordiness is one of the most important problem in the papers. For example, here we have two different sentences. In this side, you can see 31 words, and in this side, there are only 13 words. But the meaning is the same. That means we should use, if possible, short sentences. Title is very important. Title is showcase of a paper. Therefore, we should select very good title, comprehensible by readers, by reviewers, and by authors. Please avoid long titles. We can start with one of the keywords in the title. Provocative titles can draw the attention of the readers. For example, instead of the writing pars interarticularis repair technical note, you can use how to prevent failure in pars interarticularis repair. Actually, the content may be same, but this is more impressive. Actually, I told about the errors in the abstracts, but I would like to say again, abstract creates the first impression on the editor and the reader. It must therefore accurately reflect the article. Must be written according to journal rules of the submission. The frequently made mistake is the use of same sentences in the abstract and Others, for example, in introduction or in that discussion. They should be different. It may be necessary to show, if it's necessary to shorten the abstract, please don't shorten the results subsection, because result section of the abstract is very, very important, and you should not sacrifice results. Errors, there are many errors also in introduction section. Too long history, longer than necessary introduction, confusion between the introduction and discussion sections, poorly designed research question are main mistakes performed in the introduction. Instead, a brief history in 1 or 2 lines, review of current literature, and talking about the deficiencies in knowledge and current problem, and then talking about the aim of the research is very important. For example, we can write, there are many parts inter-articular repair techniques, however, clinical outcome is still suboptimal. There is need for a better surgical techniques. The aim of this study is so. The aim should be stated in the introduction. You can write everything, but this is not enough. Your paper should be original, needs novelty. In summary, an article without an aim will be rejected immediately. The aim must be clear and appropriate to research. Material method is the heart of a paper. Therefore, it is most important part. As you can see here, this is the results of the questions to the editors. As you can see here, design of study was found to be most important error in the studies, and as you can see, a method in 55%, and here also in 52%. The most important reason of rejection in manuscripts is material method related problems. So, what is the problem? Weak methodology is the most important problem. We should know that all the details must be given in the material methods. What is these details? Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Randomization and blindness is important. We should state, if it is animal study, we should state about the ethical committee approval. In an animal study, if there is no ethical committee approval, the study will be rejected. So, another problem is confusion between the material methods and the results. And lack of inclusion and exclusion criteria is also important. Weak and unreliable method, insufficient data, small sample group, mixing of prospective and retrospective methods also are main errors. We should take in mind that a well-written article will not disguise a poor design. Study design is very important. The only way to overcome these types of mistakes is good literature reviewer. So, in summary, methodological error means wrong results, then the paper will be rejected. Statistics is also important. It's very interesting that most of editors do not have a good idea about the statistic. And the study which I showed you showed that editors are not experts in the field of statistics. Nevertheless, it's better to discuss with statistician before starting the study. This is very important because sometimes most of us go to statistician after the study to compare the studies, but this may be too late because there may be need for new parameters, and then we should start from the beginning again. Statistic is very important, but as I show right here, statistics alone cannot save an article, but correct statistic can help. Results also is another part of the study. Errors here is also important. Results should be listed in chronological order without any intervening comment. We can start with the number of the patients, first with positive results and then with negative results. If the results section is very long, it can be divided with subheadings. Too much data, incorrect tabulation, not citing tables, writing everything that is in the tables in the text are major problems. Instead, we can put some data in the text, some in the tables, and if we have many parameters, we can put some of them in the appendix. The number of tables and graphs in the article should not exceed the average number of the tables in the journal. Most of journal accepts 5 to 7 tables in the paper. You cannot send a paper with 20 tables. A person looking at the tables without even reading the test should be able to get an idea of the results. And the data in the tables must be consistent with the text. This is very important. Sometimes our residents write paper, they correct some data in the table, but they forget to correct in the text. Each author should compare everywhere with each other. And finally, we can start the discussions in the error in the discussion. Starting with boring history is one of the most important errors. Repeating what has been written in the introduction also is this problem. Repeating the same results, writing review article with no discussion, it is also a problem. And overciting from the classics books. Yeah, sometimes some authors write a paper with 20 references, but 15 from textbooks. This is not correct. Instead, it's good to start the first part of the discussion section with a sentence emphasizing the importance of the findings. Rather than writing the results in the discussion, only one by one, an interpretation of the significance of the results should be given. The data must be discussed together with the limitations. We can state the limitations of the study. This is good because if you state the limitations, the reviewer will not state this all. And finish the discussion with striking results. As you can see here, deficiency in interpretation is also another problem stated by editors. So the discussion should not be unnecessarily extended. This is very important. You don't need to write 10 pages in discussion. Do you know this man? Staffs of the Salman Clinic. Do you know this? Anybody?
Watson and Crick.
Congratulations. As I mentioned, discussion should not be unnecessarily extended. As he said, these gentlemen wrote a paper which contributed to the science, cited many times. This is shorter than 1 page. Then we should not extend paper. And last sentence, maybe, if you write in the last sentence, there is a need for much more studies, this is invitation for rejection. Okay, and reference list is also important. The reference list must be written in accordance with the journal regulation. Reference list should not be inflated with too many references. Unread articles and unpublished articles should have no place in the references. Please read all references. Don't trust to reference list of other papers. This is very important. Because somebody write according to this paper, this is so, this may not be so. And last thing, ethics. I don't know how to translate it English, but I'm sure that most of you know Razi, Zakaria Razi, probably you know. Okay, he lived 1,000 years ago. He was founder of ethics, Razes, and he said, "Bir derham ilim bin okka edebe muhtaçtır." I can translate it to English. Actually, that means 3 gram science requires 400 kilogram ethics. It's very interesting, but this is correct. You know, this is, what is this? Volkswagen. Das Auto. In order to get prestige, we need years and years and years. But one error causes problem. And then universally all people talk about you. That's problem. And in science, in computer, we have Control Z. That means we have undo button. But in scientific studies, if you write paper, we have not undo study. If you have ethical problem, this is end of your academic life. This is so because plagiarism is theft. Falling into this trap spells the end of academic life. Therefore, copying from other articles without permission or citation must not be done. There are many websites where you can check your paper before sending. So in summary, even if you have conducted excellent scientific research, if your colleagues cannot understand what you have written, the research is not successful. The reviewer, reader, and editor must be able to understand the message and contribution of the study. Before submitting an article, it's useful to have the text read by people to be sure of what will be read. The article should be considered and regarded with the eyes of the reviewer. Unoriginal and or outmoded studies make no contribution to science. Thank you very much.